streaming kind of out of the blue, but just kind of wanted to do a quick video, say hey everyone, see what's up, and walk you through our fishing setup. You know, I don't know if you guys have like a little fish room, place you keep your tackle. You know, you might call it a man cave, whatever it may be. We had a couple little areas we used to put stuff, but we've recently made some changes. I say we, my dad. We got this kind of we call it the barn set up for keeping our boat here, and we're putting our tackle here, and it's a really great opportunity to really get organized, to you know, have our fishing tackle where it's easy to get to. Before it was kind of spread out and it was crowded and there's no organization. You kind of lose stuff. You're like, man, where's this? And you look for it and you spin forever, and it was a pain. So I'll walk you through some of the stuff we're going through. We are in the very early stages of setting this up. So by no means are we finished. Is this, you know, it's not super organized right now, but I wanted to kind of walk you through step by step, show you what we're thinking. And of course, if you guys got any ideas, by all means, let us know. So in this barn, if you haven't watched our videos, we've got our 27 open contender. It's a 30-foot contender, length overall. So a pretty good size offshore boat. So if you're thinking about getting a barn, probably the biggest thing I would recommend is getting a nice big door on this thing. It is it's 14 wide by 14 tall. So that makes a big difference when you're backing your boat in. So setup, things like that really help. Obviously, for fishing, you know, going offshore, it's really nice to have bean bags. So you guys can see, we got our bean bags. Before, it was like I'd try to throw them on top of something, hang them up somewhere. It was always a pain getting them up and down, and so they'd be cluttered. So you can see, we got quite a few EC Rider bean bags, because everyone just loves them on the boat. When we go to the Keys and we got the whole family down, there's usually at least 7 of us on the boat. So try to have a bean bag for everyone because it's really nice. As you know, contenders, they're built for fishing, so it's not like there's a lot of seating, which I like. And it's better, I feel like, because you're gonna wanna have a bean bag over any other seat that could be built into a boat. So for the barn, we hung them up. I got some pulleys we got up there. I rigged up some ropes, so it's easy to just drop them down when I need them, and then when I'm done, we just hang them back up. So pretty easy stuff. And if you need any specifics, I can by all means put links to this. A lot of the stuff you can get at your hardware store or Amazon, things like that. Okay. So yeah, we got the boat, things like that. Going through some little details. If you have questions, by all means, let us know. Let me flip the camera around. So one thing I'm working on is getting all the tackle organized. So I have found a lot of stuff when we were cleaning up, but we also had some good friends of ours. They gave us a bunch of tackle. They'd recently sold their boat, didn't need it, so big thanks to Don and Margie. We fished with them in the Keys and stuff like that, and great people. And they sent us a bunch of this tackle they didn't need, so we got a bunch of leader material. So what I did with the pegboard is just got some simple pegs and started hanging them up and tried to make kind of 2 rows, small to large, and then mono and fluorocarbon. So let's see. So some of this is kind of random because like we just found some of these lines. So I'm trying to kind of make use of it, and we're gonna organize it more as we go. But I got like some birds, and I got some hooks and things like that. Of course, need some paper towels in case you have a mess. Some of my random lures, kind of figured the easiest thing is kind of throw it up on the wall and then kind of do another revision to get it organized. Same thing over here. I was trying these out because I figure on this table, set up a little table to to work on things. I could rig things here, have everything I need in one place so you don't have to go and get something and come back. This is a Wahoo lure, high-speed lure I was going to work on. The good old C&H American Express, White Boo. Definitely a highly recommended Wahoo lure. But I also got a nice drone spoon, which I want to try. I feel like these things were really popular and then they kind of went out of style, but I think they still work pretty well. And the funny thing was, if you guys have watched our videos, you'll see a couple months ago, I was trolling a smaller spoon than this, probably about half the size. I think it wasn't the double aught, but it was a little bit bigger. And we caught a 40-pound cobia. I was actually trolling it for bait. A little old spoon, caught a really big fish. So I figured, hey, why not rig up a couple of these? I had them anyways. Rig some up and troll them and just see what happens. Because it used to be a really hot lure, and it still is. Like for Spanish mackerel, trolling the smaller ones, great lures. But of course, also can rig up other things. I got a nice big blue runner, a little bullet bonita, kind of Wahoo live bait rig. So we have this thing we rigged up. I can rig them all up from right here. Just kind of whatever I need to do, set it up and go. Another part of this, I actually put a rod holder down here, so you can see. Because you ever have it where you're like rigging up your rod, you got to maybe tie a new leader, you got to tie swivel, whatever, and you got to like lean it against the a board, or you lean it on your boat or something, and then inevitably it gets knocked over, knocked down, and it's not good for the reel. I don't like it. Plus, if you need to like pull on it, pull line through, if it's leaning, then you're gonna pull on it and could pull it over again. So I put a rod holder on the table. I got the Work Pro bench, and we added a piece of plywood board at the bottom, and I intentionally made it overhang, and I put one of the Jim Lux rod holders, a little screwless rod holder, just put it on the side there, a little 0-degree rod holder, and it's just a nice feature to have. Whatever you want to do, you might want to rig something like if you got like a workbench. It's really nice to be able to mount your rods, know they're secure, they're not going to get knocked over, and you can work on them, do what you need to do, and then get them back in the boat. So, any questions, words of advice, anything like that, by all means, shout it out. Still in the early stages. Again, over here, another pegboard. I'm trying to do some of the terminal stuff. So we got hooks, crimps, whether it be circle hook, J hook, treble hook, some wire, stuff for kingfish. To me, the important thing is to have everything visual, so you can just see it. Like, you don't want to have to look for it. You just want to see it, grab it, and do what you need to do, and then get going. So you can get out fishing. The important thing is you don't want to spend all your time working on the boat, working on gear, and there's definitely a lot of maintenance involved with fishing as it is. So that's not totally avoidable, but it definitely makes it a lot easier when you can get to the parts you need without having to look for it, without having to find it. Eventually, what I'm going to do on one of these walls is we're going to set up like our maintenance stuff for the boat. We got the Suzukis, had them for a while, and we do a lot of the basic stuff ourselves. We can change the oil, change the foot oil, change the impeller, stuff like that. So I'm going to set up an area that's organized, that has all the tools we need to do that job. So we can just knock it out, do it quickly, keep the motors in good shape. They've been lasting us a while. We've almost got 2,000 hours on it, which is not a lot compared to what some of the charter guys have on these motors. But they're about, 9 years old? I think we just did a 9-year review. So definitely they'll work good for you if you take care of it. Hey, Bailey. Hey, Killer Blue Dude. And yeah, what's up, guys? Appreciate you saying hi, joining us. So we're just going through the barn, kind of some of the first steps, trying to get stuff organized, get all my lures and things like that together. So we got the boat in here, got it all set up. And next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna set up kind of an area for like our bait and stuff. Let me flip it around. There we go. So yeah, like right here, I'm gonna put up a little shelf, and this is right by the freezer. So with this, I'm gonna put like our brine. Got some of the hooky products, some of the bait and brine, and sometimes I also use kind of more my old stuff before I got that, but I have like regular kosher salt and baking soda, which this is it kind of combined, but I'll have like stuff like that would be relevant to the freezer. I'll have kind of like a shelf here for it to be hung up. Hey, David, thanks for saying love it, real dangerous. So yeah, and it was important too. A lot about this barn is getting it organized for efficiency. So we have the cooler here, and of course the boat's right here. And this is the front of the boat. Sorry, it's kind of tight on my video. But this is right by the fish box and where I have my bait cooler. So I can go straight from the bait cooler to the freezer, back and forth, without having to carry it around, make a mess. It's cold, stuff like that. David said, thanks, me and my dad make you guys laugh. Well, we're happy to make you guys laugh. We hope you guys enjoy it. I do love the comedy aspect. So we try to mix some comedy, some tutorials, and then just get out in the water. And hopefully on our videos where we go fishing, you guys learn a few things too. And we got some more funny shorts coming out. It's actually harder. Let me flip around. It's harder sometimes to do shorts in the winter because like dark and I can't get outside, and you don't get on the water as much because it's the fronts come through and it gets rough and it's hard to get offshore. So this time of year it's harder to do videos. Sometimes we do hunting videos and stuff, but hopefully we'll get out there soon this weekend. The weather's looking pretty decent. Yeah, sad Freeman didn't have a Black Friday sale. I was pretty disappointed. I mean, come on. They got to get in the Christmas spirit. I was hoping Contender or Yellowfin or someone would do a Black Friday sale. Hey, Alan, thanks for joining us. Yep, them guys need to do a sale. Maybe buy one, get one free. We can, like, team up, split the cost, 50-50. We've got the 27 Contender, which is a great boat. Really like it. It's a 2000 model. But I wouldn't mind going up a couple sizes. Sorry. A few boards in here. It's still a work in progress. Putting up a lot of these boards. Kind of the first time to show you guys something with these metal buildings. This was like the first, I don't know what you call it, boards we set up, pegboard. And I was like, okay, we'll get these 90s, we'll put the boards there, we'll screw them in the bottom. And it worked, but then we're like, you know what? Why don't we just screw in two 2x4s to these metal posts? We'll screw those in, and then everything else we can just screw to the board like this. And that was way better. Way easier. I could put cleats over here, and I could run the boards, and I've got these little U-things for my bigger tackle bags, which I got to get a couple more so they're not sitting on top of each other. But yeah, so if you're doing a metal building, I would definitely recommend, that's a little harder, just put a couple posts. You can see we did it over there. On this other one, we did this one later, and you can see we put the boards along the side. We just got the bolts in, and that makes assembly really easy. And the good thing is it's flexible. Like, if I want to move these boards, like the horizontal boards. You just pop out the screws. I can adjust the height. I can add them. And this board is basically a sacrificial board. Eventually, if I need to get rid of it, I can just unscrew those and then replace it and then keep drilling stuff in. So I don't really have to drill into the metal more than once, which I think is good. But this whole thing's a work in progress. So we're learning as we go, trying to get it all set up, make it really efficient. Hopefully it'll help us to catch more fish. I see GSE. Sorry, not quite sure how to pronounce that, but you're having a metal building put in for your boat as soon as the permit's approved. Cool. Yeah, that's kind of the slow thing. It seemed like it took forever, like going through the permits, and we had some restrictions my dad did that made it, we had to adjust it. Like we wanted to do a little bit bigger, but we couldn't. So David said, how big is our boat? So the length overall of the boat is 30 feet. Fiberglass, the whole. The motors stick out, I don't know, a couple feet, maybe 3 feet. And then we'll go take a look at the tongue. It's a pretty long tongue. The trailer for this boat was built for the 31 contender, which is actually 32 and a half feet long. So got a couple gear stuff because we're working in here. But as you can see, like right here, I'm standing at the tip of the boat, and there's probably about 6-7 feet. So 30 plus 7, I don't know, maybe 40 feet long total. So let's see, you said you're having a 32 whaler. So this building was a 45 feet minus probably a smidge, because I think it's 45 outside, and the beams are 4 or 5 inches, maybe 44 to be safe. So how long did it take to put it up? Well, once they actually started, so like pouring the concrete, I think took a day, but then you got to let it dry for, I don't remember. And scheduling with the building, like I think by the time they had the concrete down, I think it was done in a day. I think it was like 3 weeks or a month before they put up the building. Part of it was just scheduling, because the people who put it up, that was when they could do it. So, but when they started putting it up, I want to say it only took like a day and a half or 2 days to actually like put it up. So it went up relatively fast, but it's the permitting, got to get approved. And of course, you deciding, you're going to look at your options, sizes, measurements, color. One thing I did to try to help my dad, which is, if you can do something like this, is I tried to mock it up. So I kind of like scanned the boat. There's scanning software you can get for your iPhone or iPad. And I did like a big 3D scan. And then you can kind of like draw it up and see how it would work in your building. Now, if you don't have that, that's okay. What I would say is measure it out like in your yard, wherever you're gonna put it, and like put like cones or like put like little PVC pipes to mark off where your building's gonna be, where the doors are gonna be, stuff like that. And then from there, I would actually recommend like back your boat in, like through these marked out like PVC where the gate is, and make sure there's no issues. Like you don't want it to be like your door may be theoretically wide enough, but if you have to come out at a weird angle, you may not be able to actually get in, because like the back of the boat may like go into the wall and you can't make the turn. So I would recommend, mocking whatever you're thinking in your head, like mock it up, take your boat and truck, test it, maybe even mark up where your boat would be, because like you want to make sure you have enough space around the edges of it to walk through. And another important point I would say, you guys heard the saying, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. I'd say build your barn for the boat you want, not the boat you have. So if you're planning on getting a bigger boat, keep that in mind when you build the building. So like this building should fit a little bit larger boat like we were thinking. Like it should fit a 35 contender, 36-ish boat. Much longer than that. Remember, the motors and the tongue of the trailer can really eat up the space. I looked on the forum once. I think one guy said he had a 39 contender and like he had a 50-foot long shed and it was just barely long enough. You think, oh, 39, I could get away with 45. But remember, you got motors, you got tongue, and then you want to be able to walk behind it too. So think about that when you're planning for your shed. So yeah, glad that helped about the dry fitting on the boat. Yeah, makes spa days easier on us. Thanks for that. It'll make it easier working on it. Like right now, it's really cold, pretty windy. It's nice to be able to come in here and we can work on the boat, or even in the summer, because it's not usually cold in Florida. We can open up the doors, if we need to just pull it out a little, make some space, whatever. We can change the oil, work on typical boat stuff. If we got to change out pumps, because it seems like pumps and stuff are all the time going out. We can change a bilge pump or a bait pump or lights, whatever. We can do that at least in a shady area. Open up the doors, get a little airflow coming through. So that's pretty much what we got. If you guys have any questions, or more importantly, if you have any suggestions, like if you see some cool idea or have something, or set your area up, some neat little thing for hanging lures, hanging rods, whatever it may be, then by all means, let me know. Bowen Sombrowski, do you believe in Christ as our Lord and Savior? Yes, I do. So thank you for asking. But anyways, if you guys got any other questions, comment below on the video, and we'll see you guys next time.